I go through the next one and her shoulder comes out. Doctor says, look down. And I look down, I grab her and I pull her up to my body. So how I prepared for my birth, my first birth was a little bit different. I went to hypnobirthing and it was amazing. We learned so much stuff that we would have never known if we didn't go. Besides that, I went to relax and release classes that really helped me to just prepare my mind by myself without my partner there and other women that were pregnant and in the same place that I was. So that was really beneficial. I also did chiropractic care and listened to my birthing affirmations, which was one of the main things that when actual labor came was super helpful. For my second birth, I did some additional stuff. I went to acupuncture and I also did a lot more relax and release classes up until we had quarantine. We also had a doula for both births. And what else did I do? Oh, I read the Labor Like a Goddess book, which I think that was super good. Even though most of the stuff that I knew, it was a great reminder, and there was additional things in there that really helped me mentally get ready to have a birth of my daughter with the situation at hand. So going through it, knowing that I'm not gonna have the support that I was gonna have, that I had for my first birth. So that's the main things that I did to prepare. My birth and labor began on Mother's Day, early morning. So around 12 o'clock at night, or in the morning, I realized that, I was feeling a little bit more surges. They were so little that it didn't even I was like, is this something? I was like, oh body, this is what you're telling me is labor? I was laughing at my body, basically saying, this doesn't even hurt. They were maybe 5, 7, 10 minutes apart. They weren't anything consistent, but I was still if this is starting labor, this is a joke, basically. So I was talking crap to my body. And then I woke up my partner and I was like, hey, I'm starting to get contractions. This was maybe around 2:30 in the morning. And I was like, hey, I went and had a snack between that time. I had a little banana bread muffin just in case something was really happening, but I was like, I don't know. So he started timing the contractions and they weren't very consistent. So I was like, okay, well at 3:30 I was like, I need a rest, because if this is the real thing, I need a rest. So I started resting. I went to sleep. I stopped worrying about anything. I went to sleep. Around 6:20 in the morning, I woke up because I started feeling a surge, and this was the real, it felt more real because it made my leg shake. I had to move my leg in order to get through it. I was like, okay, body, okay, I get it now. That's what I'm talking about. If this is happening, that's what I'm talking about. Still I was like, this is gonna be forever, is what I was thinking. I was like, okay, so let me just be calm. Let me go to the bathroom. Let me text my doula. Let me figure out what's going on. And I woke up my partner. I was like, hey, I think, that was a painful surge. I was like, let's see what happens. And he's like, okay, let me go pack the car. And I was like, I don't know if we need a rush. I was just trying to take it easy, and around between 7 and 7:30, I started getting them really fast, between 2 and 3 minutes apart, and they felt like double waves. So they were peaking and then they were going down, but they weren't going all the way down, and then they were peaking again. So my body was doing some serious work, and I knew it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I hope this is not like this the whole time. And so I tried to FaceTime my sister, because I still thought at that time that it was no big deal. We were gonna be here for an hour or two, and then we would peacefully head to the hospital, which, it was not a crazy thing or by any means, but Robert was making me breakfast. I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat something because who knows how long this is gonna last. So he was making me breakfast, and I received a text from my doula saying, I was like, I want to take a shower and all this kind of stuff. She's like, if you're gonna take a shower, take a quick one, and you guys should probably head out. So at that point, I was like, okay, Robert, well, I'm gonna jump in the shower. And we called my OB and left a message, and he called me back and said, yeah, you should probably go to the hospital. So we're like, okay, so I guess this is it. You know, I was finally excited because that was 40 weeks, 5 days. My first birth was at 41 weeks, 3 days. So I was like so thankful that it wasn't going that long. So took a quick shower. Robert finished packing up the car. It takes me a while because at that point the surges are getting so close together that I was like, wow, you know, I guess I was wrong here. You know, maybe we aren't going to be able to hang out here very long. And it started getting me nervous because I was GBS positive, so I wanted to get to the hospital, at least get 1 dose of antibiotics before I had the baby. So we finally get to the car, and you know, it's still taking me a few minutes to get there. It took me maybe 5 to 10 minutes to get to the car because I was getting them so frequently. And I didn't want to, I was almost trying to run to the car between my surges. And so we got to the car, I got in, you know, then we called the hospital to let them know that we're on our way. I delivered at Palmerado Hospital. I had my Ferdy blinks on in the car, ready to go, and then I put my affirmations on after we got off the phone with the hospital because I wanted to focus and not have a possible stall in my labor, because sometimes getting in the car, we learned in hypnobirthing that it could stall your labor. Wanted to keep it as dark as I could and really just focus on what the affirmations were telling me. So it took us about 15 minutes. We got to the hospital about 8:30 in the morning at this point. And to go into the hospital during quarantine, you have to get your temperature checked. And so by the time we got into the hospital, they're like, the nurse is not here. And I was like, well, I called the hospital, I'm in labor. I was kind of had an attitude with the poor security guard. I feel bad, but I was like, I'm gonna have this baby either on the floor in front here or you let me go upstairs. So she called a birth center and they said, go ahead and set her up. We'll take a temperature before she gets in there. Robert had to wait. Robert had to wait. And so he was in the next elevator up because the nurse was coming out of the elevator as I was going in. So anyways, I just thought that was funny, and these are the hiccups that you run into during quarantine, you know. So I got up there, took my temperature, I'm fine. But meanwhile, I'm having, I had a surge in the elevator, I had a surge when I'm getting my temperature taken, I had a surge when I'm getting checked in by the nurse's station. So, you know, they were coming pretty fast. So I finally get into the room, I get checked, get all set up, you know, get in the room, and once I'm checked, I'm 5 centimeters dilated, fully effaced, totally, basically, I was like, last time I got here, I was only 3, maybe 4 centimeters. This is good. I was really pumped about that. And sometimes it's not good to know. Sometimes it is good to know because it can be motivating. I knew that this baby was going to come fast. I just knew it. She wanted to come out fast. And I could tell by the way my body was already progressing so quickly. So after I get my antibiotics and they monitored the baby for about 20 minutes or whatever, 15, 20 minutes. And I kept checking with the nurses as well as my partner, because we learned kind of this from our first labor, that you just really need to just check in with them and let them know what you want. You know, I was like, am I done with this yet? You know, I think it's really important to have your voice and use your voice in this scenario, especially we didn't have our doula there with us, and things were going so fast that we couldn't even call or text. You know, things were progressing way too quickly and things were going too fast. So once I got there, they started filling up the tub so I could jump in. I was just things were moving so fast that I knew my body needed a little bit of a break, and that water really helps. I used the water as a resource or a tool in my first birth, which really helped. I got in the tub, and I mean, the surges were coming so quickly, but they had a peak and they would go down, so I had little breaks in between. They weren't the double peak ones that were happening earlier in my labor, which was just literally an hour and a half before that. So I get in there and I'm having surges. Robert's pouring water on me and giving me light touch. When we were in our hypnobirthing or relax and release classes, I like the firm touch. But when you're in the situation where your body is just so tense and you're trying to relax, the soft touch for me really was something that really helped me get through the surges. And breathing obviously too was super helpful, and a low voice, so that helps, and that hum of your low voice really just kind of also vibrates your body and allows it to relax. So that's what I was doing in the tub, and I was in the tub maybe 30 to 45 minutes-ish, but I was already feeling that really low pressure, yeah, and it was not good. Like, I was like, I'm over this, like, this is gonna be done soon. I was telling my partner, I was like, this is gonna be done soon. She's not gonna stay, or I didn't know she was a girl, but I was like, the baby's gonna come fast because I could already feel that pressure. And so he called the nurse and told the nurse, he's like, she's having a lot of pressure, like the feeling of poop. And so she's like, okay, well, let's get her out. I wanted to monitor the baby anyway. And so I got out, put the monitor on, which I hate the monitors. Like, so they need to have someone new make those. So they're like a sticker, just like the heart ones or something. Anyways, she ended up checking me at that point. And at this point, I knew I wanted to know the number. Before I said in my birth plan, I didn't want to know the number, but I was like, there's no way. I get checked and I'm 7 centimeters dilated. This is crazy. And it was only an hour that I had been at the hospital at that point. So I was like, this is crazy. I was like, I knew she was coming fast is what I'm saying. I was like, I knew. And I was like, I'm in transition. You know, I was thinking like, no wonder I'm getting all this pressure. So, and my water was still intact at that point. So, and I was like, I just want this water to break because that means the baby will fall down and it will just like, these are all the things that are going through my mind. Baby will fall down and fall out. Yes, let's have this happen. So anyways, because I was at 7 centimeters, the doctor was called and he came within the half an hour, but they started prepping the room already. Like, you know, I was gonna have this baby. So I didn't end up going back in the water, and I stayed on the bed. And I know sometimes like, at that point, it was pretty comfortable for me to be in the bed, but I was willing to move if I needed to move. And I think that's important. So doctor got there, he checked me when he got there within 20 to 30 minutes, I was 9 centimeters dilated. So my body was really working hard. She was working hard to get out. Once he gets there, he checks me. Once he's checking me, he's telling me push. Like, he's already telling me to push. I was like, okay. And these were pre-pushes. These weren't like the real pushes to push the baby out. These were pushes to get her down and in birthing position. So I was pushing on the bed, like, you know, and then he told me, you know what, let's use gravity to help get the baby down. He's like, do you think you could stand up? He asked me though, the way that he approached it was really like, do you think you could stand up and let gravity? I was like, yes, let's, whatever we need to do, I'm down, you know, and because my motivation was just like, I need to do things to help my body get this baby out. So I was like, yeah, let's stand up, whatever we need to do. So I stand up and I push really hard during my surges. I'm pushing. I only needed to do that about a couple times, 3 or 4 times. He's like, all right, I think that did it. So I got up and I got back in the bed, and we were having a baby at that point. And so, yeah, he was, my doctor's great. I love my doctor. And he was telling me, you know, coaching me through the delivery process and pushing. You know, when the push looked right from his view, he told me to continue that. And this time, she was really big. She was 10 pounds, 12 ounces. So she's a big girl. And so I didn't have the same pressure that I felt with my son, who was 7 pounds, 6 ounces. So I just knew that there was a lot more pressure down there, and it was a little bit harder to push. But I knew from reading the Labor Like a Goddess book that my muscles, yeah, it hurt. Yeah, it hurts. But at the same time, it wasn't pain because something was broken. It was pain because my muscles were working so hard, like doing a million sit-ups, for example. So that's what was the pain I knew I was pushing through because of that book. It really helped me. That was something that really stood out to me, that it's your muscles that are working super hard, just like exercising super hard. And so of course it's going to make you sore, and of course it's going to hurt a little bit because when you're working your muscles out, it hurts. So having that in my mind and knowing that it wasn't because I was breaking something, it was because I was working something out so hard. I had to push extra hard because she's a big girl. He would continue to coach me. She came out within maybe 4 or 5 pushes, but I think that it really helped with the way I was being directed and knowing. And so at one point, maybe the first push that I really did, the first real push I did, I was like trying to push, And I was like, I can't, I can't, because the pressure was so much. And so I kind of stopped. I kind of clenched my body up, and my body was like, no. And it just pushed her out, like, without my approval. You know, it was like, no, we're pushing her out, body was telling me. I was like, okay, well then I just got to relax through it. You know, there's this like moment of like inner struggle of that. That's something that book also talks about. It's just knowing when to just kind of like let go and let it be. And we learned that in hypnobirthing too, is that you don't want to be tight, you want to be as loose as possible. So knowing all these things, I knew that that was the wrong thing to do with my body. And so then I was like, okay, I'm just kind of going to give up to that and know that, yeah, she's coming out and I can't stop it, and to go with it and to try to relax as much as you can in that moment. So I think I had 2 more pushes after that first one that I kind of like was like, I don't know. Then on the third one, they're like, her head's right there, feel her head. And I remember Carrie telling me in hypnobirthing, relax and release classes, it's really important to touch. It gives you motivation. And I was like, if I touch her head, or if I touch the baby's head, you know, I'm gonna have motivation to push her the rest of the way out, or push the baby the rest of the way out. And so I touched, and I was like, there's hair there, there's a little ripply head, like, okay, she's right there. Like, I just have to, it's within moments that this is gonna be done. And I was so happy that was like, so I went through all these emotions in that like very short period. I pushed on the next contraction, and her head came out. And then we were just waiting on her shoulder to come out, basically, after that. I go through the next one, and her shoulder comes out. Doctor says, look down. And I look down, I grab her, and I pull her up to my body. And we didn't know what she was, so that I'm feeling her body, you know, her bottom area. And I was like, there's nothing, it's just flat. Like, I was like, it's a girl. And I'm yelling, I'm so excited. And, you know, I kind of stole, because I wanted my partner to tell me it was a girl, but kind of just took over the moment. I mean, I worked so hard to get her out. I guess that was my reward. Sorry. And so I was so happy, and I was like, I was so happy she was out of my body. The doctor also mentioned when she was coming out that this is a big baby, and he's like, at least, you know, 10 pounds. And I was like, what? I had no clue. I mean, we were projected, you know, to be maybe 9 pounds. I was like, in my head, I had an 8-pound, 10-ouncer. That was what I thought we were gonna have. And then when he's like, no, she's like 10 pounds, I was like, no wonder I had so much pressure. And I was like, my son just fell out compared to her. Like, I really had to push her. He came out. So yeah, I mean, I was really happy. It was so awesome to be done with that process. But I think I have all the tools needed to be able to go through it as I did. So we couldn't have done it without all the support, and I'm just very thankful for everybody that was on our team, on our side, even in this crazy circumstance. I felt supported, even though I knew that my support wasn't like in the room with me. So yeah, so I recommend having doulas, because they're there with you all the way through. Even if they're not there for your actual birth, they're still there, and you know the things that they've been telling you, the motivation that they've been giving you, the confidence that they've been giving you. Because I was really worried about having a baby without my doula, and she told me, no, you could do it. And I was super thankful for that, because I think, you know, I was going through all these emotions throughout the whole period of knowing that I wasn't going to be able to have the support that I was expecting to have. And for me to be able to know that she was there in spirit, and I had more than just her there, you know, like Care was there for me. My chiropractor helped me out throughout the quarantine time. My acupuncturist really helped my body prepare, and even before, you know, this whole time started. So I think that your support team, obviously my family, you know, all that helped too, because it was a mental game that I was playing here during this time, because it was trying. So yeah, but that's basically how she came to be here, and she was ready to come out really fast. So I ended up having her at 10:45 a.m. So my labor was really short, and because that's what she wanted for me, for her, you know, I knew what my body could take. So yeah.